Hey guys, welcome to my channel, The Ready Nurse Nay. I make videos for nursing students and also family and inspirational type of videos. In today's video, I will be talking about the topic, I didn't get in to my desired nursing school, now what? So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Okay, so we're kind of around a time period when you're getting around the summer. A lot of nursing programs send out their letters, whether you've been accepted or rejected. And people who've been accepted, I want to say congratulations, awesome. That is a big win for you guys. I'm celebrating with you, woohoo. But then there are people who have been rejected and they didn't get into their desired nursing school or whatever school of their choice. Even if you're not a nursing major, if you just didn't get into the school of your choice, then what next? What are your next steps? That's a hurting feeling, and I have definitely been there on more than one occasion. Just not being accepted into the school that you've worked so hard for, that you've been so desiring to attend, and you haven't been accepted into it. That's a hard blow. My first, advice or tip would just to be to feel what you feel, whether you have to cry or shout it out, vent to someone, and talk about how unfair it is. Let your emotions kind of roll in a healthy way, and go with your emotions and let them roll out. I know when I did not get into the school of my choice, I definitely cried the first time. This happened to me twice. I didn't get into the school that I had wanted to go to as far as my nursing program. The first time I cried, and I was definitely sad for about a good day. The second time I was angry because I felt like it wasn't fair. But I mean, that's just kind of, sometimes that's how it draws out. It doesn't mean, if you didn't get in or anything, or from my point, it didn't mean that I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent or anything like that, or I'm a failure. I mean, it just, other students' grades stacked up a little bit better than mine. So that means I had to make a game plan for next time. And the same thing with you. If you don't get into your nursing school of choice, or whatever school, if it's not a nursing school, whatever school it is of choice for your profession, you're not a failure. That's the first thing you need to know. Feel your emotions in a healthy way. Let them blow out. Do what you got to do in a healthy way. And then second, know that you are not a failure. Maybe the competition for nursing schools and colleges and different professions and things is high. It's high. The stakes are high, GPAs are high, test scores, all that stuff is high. And you can only do the best that you can do. And then, learn from your mistakes and then do better. So if you don't get in, you're not a failure. Maybe that competition, those testing ranges, those GPAs were just high. And so, you just have to do a better job next time and get higher up there so you can be, accepted into the program that you want to be accepted into. But definitely know that you are not a failure. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And what's for you is for you. What's for you is for you. A little scripture that I have in Colossians 3:23 says, work at it as if you were working for the Lord. And I believe when you're doing stuff as if you're doing it to the Lord, he will bless your efforts, because you can do that in honor of him, and he'll bless your efforts and just kind of make it work even better. So, and that can be for anything, for school, for work, even, just taking care of kids. If you're a stay-at-home mom, that's your job, taking care of your kids. Working at it as if you're working for the Lord in honor of God, and he will bless it and just make it come to pass. Just better, make it come to pass better. Because if you're working hard at something, it's gonna come to fruition. It's gonna come forward, and it'll be like manifested out. If I'm saying that right or wrong, sorry, but it makes sense in my head. So hopefully it makes sense in your head as well. But just work hard for it, and it's gonna come into play. Another scripture I have in Proverbs 14:23, it says, "Hard work leads to a profit." So when you're working hard for something, whether that be for school, personal in your life, maybe career-wise, whatever it is, when you are working hard and you are determined to get it, you're gonna get a profit. You're gonna get a profit, and you're gonna get a win. And so you have to be like that for everything, for school, for life. You work hard at it, and you will get a win. So I said to feel your feelings, know that you are not a failure, and I have my little notes right here, guys. And then the third tip is to make a plan, make an action plan, a game plan. And a game plan is, okay, what do I have to do? What are the steps that I need to take to get accepted into my plan when I reapply next admission cycle? Because when you're working hard for something and you really want something, you're not just going to accept the rejection. You're going to take actions and steps so you can get accepted next admission cycle. So you're going to take a game plan. You're going to make a game plan and an action plan of what you need to do. And for your action plan, I have on here, specifically with nursing classes. With different career professions, it might be a little bit different, but with nursing classes, you are going to, if your GPA is a little bit lower, retake some classes. Bite that bullet. I know you might not want to. I've had to do it before. Bite the bullet, retake some classes so you can increase your GPA. The higher your GPA is, the more the higher chances you have of being accepted to the program that you really want. Retake some classes to increase your GPA. You can also apply to more schools. So, research in your area, or if you're going out of state, research some different programs, nursing programs or programs, whatever your career choice is, and apply to different schools. Apply to more schools than you did last time. More schools, that's a greater range, opportunity for more schools to accept you into their program. Apply to more schools, and also study so that you can get higher on your entrance exam. Different nursing schools use different things. Some use the TEAS test, some still use the HESI. So research whatever schools, whatever entrance test the schools that you are applying to will use, and take some classes, research and study to get higher on those entrance exams, so that it puts you higher to be accepted into the programs of your choices on those action plans. So that action plan I have, just simple, but it makes all the difference. Retake classes to get a higher GPA, apply to more schools, and get high as you can. Study and get as high as you can on these nursing entrance exams, whether they are the TEAS test or the HESI or whatever entrance exam that you are applying for your school. And that just sets the bar high, so you can, definitely, if you're having a high GPA, a high entrance exam, that's you're getting in there. The higher your grades and the higher your test scores and things like that, the higher you are up on the list above people whose scores and things are lower than yours. So score high so you can get in there and you can be in that program that you want to be in. And then another little tidbit, I'm wrapping it up. It's just a quick little encouraging video. I wanted to encourage you guys because I know what it feels like to not get into the school of your choice. It's very disappointing. It's very discouraging. And it's not a good feeling. And I don't want you guys to be stuck in the ditch, feeling like, a failure or something like that. You're not a failure. You are intelligent. You've taken those prereqs. You've passed those prereqs, that plenty of other people probably have failed, so not using that as encouragement, but, that somebody failed. No, but I'm just saying that you've taken those classes, you've passed them. That takes work, that takes effort to pass those A&P1, A&P2, pathophysiology, pharmacology. That takes effort and work. So you need to give yourself a pat on the back. You started the journey, you've continued on the journey. If you had taken classes, retake classes already to keep on the journey. Give yourself a pat on the back, okay? If you're having to work and do your nursing school classes or your prereq classes or go to college, give yourself a pat on the back. If you're having to take care of kids, you're a parent. If you're having to, be a caregiver to a family member, those are all difficult things added on top of college, okay? So, if you're a first generation college student, doing this thing alone, you don't necessarily have a step and guide of someone in your family to say, yeah, I went to college, this is how it is, this is what you can expect. Give yourself a pat on the back. That takes hard work and dedication, so you're not a failure, guys. You are intelligent, you can do it. I'm intelligent, I can do it. You intelligent, and you can do it. We just have to maybe take some action steps and do better next time. My last little words, I guess, of advice is this is kind of like a little analogy when I was and I was was listening to this analogy, listening to a podcast from it's My Daily Cup of Inspiration with Deanna Hobbs. The podcast, pretty awesome. I recommend it. And this is a podcast that I was listening to this month, but it was one from I think 2019. And she just gave the analogy. She used it from somebody else, but I'm pulling it from her because I heard it from her, about the cherry tree. How the cherry tree takes about 4 to 5 years before it even produces cherries, and sometimes even longer than that. That means it has to grow from 4 to 5 years. That's a long time. Sometimes longer than that before it even produces cherries. But that whole time it has to be nurtured, and you have to water it and give it sunlight. 4 to 5 years before it even produces cherries, and sometimes longer than that. But when it does produce cherries and it starts producing fruit, it produces hundreds of thousands of fruit cherries. That's a ton of cherries. That's a ton of cherries, to say that, 4 to 5 years with no fruit, and then when it starts producing fruit, thousands of fruit. Thousands, okay, from that one tree. And I like this analogy because sometimes it can be like that with us as people. You're plowing and you're planning and growing yourself, specifically with school or anything, but I'm talking about specifically with school. You're plowing and you're working so hard. When you're expecting, sometimes you expect the harvest right away. I'm plowing and I'm working hard. I want my harvest, in 2 years or 3 years. But sometimes it doesn't happen in the 2 or 3 years. Sometimes you have to plow for 4 or 5 years, guys, before you get a harvest. But when you do get that harvest, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be so blissful to see all of that fruit just overflowing, going beyond your expectations. And it can be like that even in school. You thinking, okay, it should be just 4 years to get a bachelor's degree or 2 years to get an associate's. Maybe it's charted like that, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that in your life because you have different things that come up. If you're a parent, or if you have to pay for school out of pocket, or you have to work, you take care of family members. You have these different obstacles that come in life that you have to kind of deal with, and sometimes that can extend the typical 4-year degree to a little bit longer, or the typical 2-year associates a little bit longer. But you know what? It still doesn't matter as long as you finish and you put in that work and you finish at the end of the day, and you are in the profession that you want to be in. You're a registered nurse, in my case, or whatever profession you have chosen. That's all that matters, guys. Whether it takes you 4 or 6 years to get it, the bachelor's degree, or even 2 to 4 years to get the associate's degree, don't put a time limit in it. Just work hard and get it done. You can't compare your journey to somebody else's journey because they might not have the same difficulties that you have and the same life obstacles that you have. And for myself, I have to tell myself that because, my life is a little bit different. I'm not the typical high school student. I am an older woman. I'm 28 right now. I have a son who is 1. He's not even 2 yet. I'm married. I work. I have bills I got to pay. I'm paying school out of pocket. So my life, my life is different, and I have more things that I have to take care of and more responsibilities than someone who's just a high school student, who doesn't have those different responsibilities. And somebody else probably has different responsibilities than I do. But the goal is, don't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. Work hard. If you work hard, you will get a profit because you put in hard work. So you're going to reap some type of reward from it. Work as if you're working for the Lord, because that can be honor and like worship to God. You're committing it to God. And, another scripture that says in Proverbs, acknowledge the Lord in everything you do, and he'll direct your paths. Submit your plans to him, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And that's in Proverbs. I may have remixed it a little bit, but you get my drift. Go look it up. And God will lead you and he'll direct you. So if it's something that you really want to do, whether you want to be a nurse or a doctor or a veterinarian or whatever, do it. That's my son crying in the background, so I'm about to go. But do it. So I hope this is encouraging to you. Leave me some comments, questions below. Give me a thumbs up.